In a world dominated by the 24-hour news cycle and the constant flow of information through digital platforms, the battle for narrative control and the circulation of truth has never been more pronounced. In the midst of this media chaos, the Sixth BRICS Media Forum has emerged as a powerful force seeking to challenge and reshape the global media landscape. But what prompted the BRICS nations to initiate this war against Western media? And what does it signify for the future of global media dynamics? What does it mean for the way we consume information? And why should you be paying attention? Well, let's find out. Comprising the 5 emerging economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the BRICS nations have come together to wage a war, not one fought with guns and soldiers, but with words, ideas, and narratives against Western media and their often criticized propaganda. Media from Western countries has been known for spreading biased information for a long time. They tend to highlight the positive aspects of their own nations while downplaying their shortcomings. Additionally, they often showcase the good deeds of other countries with a bit of a biased perspective. It's common for experts and analysts to have their own opinions, but we don't expect the same from media outlets. However, some media organizations also engage in this kind of communication, not just against countries but also against people. For example, according to the Los Angeles Times, the tension between the US and China has led to increased prejudice against Asians due to how Western media portrays China. China is often depicted in a negative light, and this kind of portrayal extends to other developing countries as well. This can create a perception that we should pity these countries. Many people end up thinking that Africans are living in dire conditions without access to basic necessities like food and water, and that they need help from the West. In reality, the situation is quite different. Poverty rates are rising in Europe and the US, but the media continues to focus on what's happening in Africa and China. The recent BRICS Media Forum is trying to change this. In a world where narratives shape perceptions, this forum stands as a defiant force, ready to challenge the dominant narratives and carve a space for diverse voices, bringing together voices from developing nations to try to make the media more fair. Media leaders from BRICS countries recently gathered in Johannesburg for the 6th BRICS Media Forum. This event was all about coming together to address common global challenges and promote a future where media is fair and unbiased. Fu Hua, the president of Xinhua News Agency, emphasized how important it is for media outlets from BRICS nations to shape a world based on cooperation and development. In a world where some countries try to control what the world thinks and use media to push their own agendas, BRICS media leaders have taken a stand. Fu Hua made it clear that the media's real job is to help global development and not to create conflicts. This idea is in line with what China believes in. They want peace and benefits for everyone. For a long time, Western media has been telling stories that are not always fair about developing countries. This has made it harder for these nations to grow and show their true potential. Some media outlets like CGTN have been fighting against this. The Western media often makes developing countries seem simple and one-dimensional, ignoring their rich cultures and deep traditions. For example, Africa has many different cultures and languages, but Western media tends to overlook this and instead shows a simplified view that doesn't capture the complexity of the continent. The media often portrays developing nations as followers rather than innovators. Western media tends to downplay their contributions to fields like science, technology, and creative industries. But there are shining examples of these nations' innovative achievements. Take India's space program, for instance, or China's strides in renewable energy and South Africa's pioneering healthcare initiatives. These are clear signs that these countries are driving innovation in various fields. However, these remarkable achievements often remain hidden beneath the sensationalism propagated by Western media. Stories of grassroots initiatives, community-driven development projects, and breakthroughs in healthcare and education are overshadowed by stories of crises and conflicts. Western media's fixation on negative stories from developing nations hides their successes and resilience. It's common to see headlines focused on political instability or natural disasters, which often overshadow stories of economic growth, educational advancements, and social development. That's why the theme of the 6th BRICS Media Forum was BRICS and Africa, strengthening media dialogue for a shared and unbiased future. Co-hosted by Xinhua News Agency and the China Energy Investment Corporation, the forum served not only as a platform for dialogue, but also as a call to action for media cooperation in times of global challenges. It stood as a united front against attempts to manipulate media narratives for destructive purposes. Hu Heping, Executive Deputy Head of the Publicity Department of the CPC Central Committee and Minister of Culture and Tourism, highlighted the importance of the BRICS mechanism in promoting unity. This unity serves as a beacon of hope for emerging markets and developing countries navigating evolving international dynamics. The BRICS Media Forum, through its regular interactions, has become a pivotal platform for coordinating and strengthening media from these nations. President Fu Hua's vision for advancing BRICS media cooperation aligns with China's commitment to shared human values in a just international order. The call to tell BRICS stories in this new era, centered on modernization and sustainable development, reinforces the shared vision for a better world. Media outlets from BRICS nations refuse to be mere pawns in perpetuating divisive narratives. Instead, their focus is on promoting global development, disrupting the narrative framework crafted by Western media, and showcasing the ingenuity, resilience, and potential often overshadowed by Western-biased portrayals. Iqbal Survey, Executive Chairman of Independent Media of South Africa, sheds light on the invaluable role of BRICS media in advocating for an inclusive, cooperative, and just new world order. This commitment aligns with China's core principles of fairness and justice, fostering an environment where developing nations can thrive and their voices are heard. Dakota Lego, a member of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, praised the forum for amplifying the voice of BRICS nations by countering attempts to weaponize the media. BRICS media leaders not only protect their interests, but also empower fellow developing nations. Wang Min, Director of CHN Energy, highlighted the media's pivotal role in social progress and energy security, a core focus of China's developmental goals. China is serious about transitioning to green and low-carbon practices. Media empowerment plays a vital role in making this happen. It's not just about sharing information on renewable energy and clean technologies. It's a call to action. Through media, China is encouraging individuals, industries, and policymakers to adopt more sustainable practices. It's about creating a sense of responsibility and urgency. China's message on energy security goes beyond its own borders. It resonates with global efforts to combat climate change and secure a sustainable future for generations to come. The BRICS media's role extends beyond reporting. It involves promoting exchanges and mutual learning among different civilizations. The Sixth BRICS Media Forum stands as a symbol of unity, strength, and commitment among developing nations in the face of global challenges. BRICS media leaders are resolute in their stand against media manipulation and are calling for a cooperative and just new world order. This vision aligns closely with China's aspirations for a better world. As the forum concludes, the voices of BRICS nations are stronger than ever, paving the way for a future where cooperation and development prevail. Through its discussions and declarations, the forum provides a platform where developing nations can share their stories without being distorted by stereotypes. It becomes a stage where voices rise above misrepresentation, showing the strength that comes from unity and shared purpose. China plays a crucial role in empowering developing nations to challenge stereotype-driven narratives. Its commitment to fairness and justice shines through its support for a new media landscape that respects the diversity and complexities of developing nations. The question arises, how can China and BRICS break the Western monopoly on media? They collectively represent diverse regions and cultures, allowing them to share stories that resonate with audiences in Asia, Africa, and beyond. This regional focus can contribute to a more inclusive and representative media landscape. As BRICS countries collaborate on various fronts, they can jointly promote their shared values and interests through media channels, fostering a sense of global partnership beyond the Western narrative. This mission to change the narrative isn't just about personal agendas, it's becoming a global movement that empowers developing nations worldwide. It carries the promise of breaking down barriers, fostering unity, and inspiring progress for a more equitable and inclusive future.